Hey, what's up, and welcome to live.besttechie.net, the place where we talk tech, answer your tech questions, of course, everything technology related. I want to do a little video on a little more of the iPad, since it's the hot topic right now. The thing about the iPad is a lot of people are saying it's a game changer, has a lot of potential, including myself. I think it has a lot of potential. Whether that potential will be fulfilled is another thing. Now, there's a huge debate going on right now in terms of web apps versus desktop apps or just apps in general. Apps that you can install on a device versus apps that you can access via the web. Now, with HTML5 in the works, there's a lot more potential for really, really good web apps, as you've seen with the Google Voice app on the iPhone, let's say, built by Google using HTML5. Now, I think when you're talking about the iPad and the iPhone and the iPod Touch, you have these apps that you can install on devices. A lot of developers are developing actual apps as opposed to web-based apps. And I think what it comes down to is one of the major fights that's going to come up is this fight, apps versus web apps. So I think that's going to be a huge fight that's going to go on. And I think you're going to see that as it evolves, obviously one is going to win. Now, I'm partial to actual applications on a device over web apps. I think they provide a little more. They provide a lot more functionality for one. I think even with HTML5, just for example, here, let me just give you an example. This application called Beatwave allows you to make music on the iPad using just your fingers. Can you guys hear that? And you can make different effects. It's kind of really cool. You do different things with your fingers and they make different noises. And there's a whole bunch of features that go into this thing. It's really neat. I just got it actually and I was messing around with it. Now obviously I don't have very musical abilities, but you get the idea that you can do this type of thing on an app. It'd be a little more difficult to do on the web. There are apps on the web that, have some kind of ability to make kind of music with, but I don't think it's nearly as featureful, as you could say, as Beatwave would be. By the way, it's free. It's a free app. Now, I think Google's really pushing the web app, and I think Apple's, they're in the middle. They have their web apps for these devices, but they're also really pushing a lot more so the App Store. So it's going to be another fight between Google and Apple, and I'm curious to know what you guys think. But also, if you think about the potential for the iPad, I want to know where you guys think the iPad will succeed the most. So I personally think education's one. The print media industry has already jumped on the bandwagon for the iPad. In fact, I was watching an ABC show. They have an ABC Player app on the iPad, which completely free material. You can watch full-length shows with minimal commercial interruption, like Hulu. But this is for the iPad. Hulu's not on the iPad yet. They're saying it's going to be on there. Probably subscription-based, though. This is actually free, and it's really, really nice. There's a number of other apps in here. I'm going to do a full review in the coming days. Actually, probably later this week, I hope to have the full review up. But there's other potential I see in the iPad in terms, again, print media goes onto the iPad. It'll bring a whole new realm of advertising, which will be really cool and really interesting to see. The educational area where I think one school, actually one university is giving iPads to all the students. That's pretty neat. You're going to see textbooks on here as opposed to carrying regular textbooks to class. This device can potentially be game-changing for that education, also for photographers. No longer need portfolios. Your grandma will be able to use this as opposed to a traditional recipe book. I mean, then there's already apps for this type of stuff. Don't doubt it. And they're all in the App Store right here. And they look really, really great. This device, again, is really slim. And it's really cool. And it really, really, I just watched them. It really has great battery life, too. And I'm going to save more of this stuff for the review. But again, it really has great battery life. I watched a full-length movie on here. It was The Blind Side, great movie. And it literally had 87% battery life by the time I was done. That's impressive. 3 hour. It's like a 2 hour and 8 minute movie or so. Really good battery life. But again, the potential and the upside. I want to know where you guys think this will succeed. Leave a comment, let me know. And also let me know what you think about web apps versus desktop apps. Yes, exactly. Web apps versus desktop apps. Which one you're voting for or rooting for, I guess you should say. Which one you prefer to use. Even though web apps, they're not as common on the desktop side of things. I guess you could say Gmail would be one. YouTube's kind of, but not really. It's more of a service. So you're going to have to wait and see as they evolve. Would you prefer to use a web application or desktop? Let me know. Leave a comment. This has been live.best. Take it on. Until next time, we'll see you. And remember, take care of your computers and your iPads.